What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Spurs have been beaten 1-0 at Stamford Bridge in another pitiful away display. Another really, really drab performance. Little attacking threat. Poor going at the back as well. Here with Barry to discuss what we saw over those 90 minutes. It was hard to watch those 90 minutes, to be honest. It was really, really hard to watch. We had... the first half, within 30 seconds, Chelsea had got in on our goal. Jackson with had a ball over the top from Chalobah. A bit lucky that Van der Ven gets there and he hits the post after a clearance ricochets off him. Didn't really stop there, the onslaught. It was kind of one-way traffic for most of that first half. Sancho forced a brilliant save out of Vicario, one-handed fingertips. Chelsea were getting kind of little... bits of joy down the flanks in between where our fullbacks should be. It was really poor. Second half wasn't much different. I think we had a little spell, probably just before we equalised, which obviously got ruled out, where we had a spell for about 10 minutes where we had a few moments. We had a goal out of nothing, which got ruled out for VAR. Other than that, it was just pitiful, really, really pitiful from Tottenham. The worrying thing, like going forward, just nothing, really, really little, to be honest, I saw today. The patterns weren't really there. Maddison barely really saw him. When he did get involved, he was looking good, but he didn't get involved anywhere near enough. Sonny wasn't there at all today. He had a chance near the end where he probably should have scored, which was saved by Sanchez. And Chelsea obviously got the goal through Enzo Fernandez. He scored the winner. A poor marking in the box between Van der Ven and Romero, both marking the same man, leaving Enzo free, and he just had a free header in the box. It's hard. It's really, really getting hard at the moment with this team and manager.
You look dejected, Sim.
It's hard to back up what I'm witnessing out there.
Well, look, to add insult to injury, there's reports that Ange cupped his ears to the away fans.
It's just ridiculous, yeah.
After they booed the Bergvall substitution, and then obviously there was that was at the time when Sarr scored that disallowed goal.
Well, obviously after that, they made the sub and the Spurs fans were singing, "You don't know what you're doing."
Yeah. And
then Sarr, a few minutes later, scored, so Ange seemed vindicated, and then obviously got ruled out. So he's got egg on his face, really.
Yeah, but... Yeah, and I think that's it. He's reacted to the away fans from their reactions, but it just wasn't good enough. And I think that chance for Son right at the end tells you everything that, I don't want to be right and don't want to be vindicated, but that just tells you that Son is, unfortunately, he would have easily, he didn't even get near it. He had to dive in and really had to go for it. So. Look, I just 16 defeats. The first time, 16 defeats out of 30. I think you said Sim 19 defeats. Well, I can see us getting a lot more than 19, which will then make it our worst defeats in the whole of the Premier League. Yeah, look, it wasn't a great game. Let's be honest, it wasn't a great game. I think both Spurs and Chelsea played their part in that. It wasn't just all on Tottenham, but Chelsea just did enough. They could have had more goals. Obviously, had that goal off for offside. We had that one that was ruled off where Sarr fouled. I guess in another day, potentially could have got a red card, Sarr, there for that tackle, but obviously it was a yellow. And it's just again, it's disappointing. Going into, we've got Southampton, then we've got Eintracht Frankfurt at home, then we've got Wolves away, which we don't really do well at, and they're on back-to-back wins. Then we play the second leg. So, look, the games are going to come thick and fast, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But we certainly need a result. And look, we saw what happened last time we went away to St Mary's. I don't think it's going to be 5-0. I think it will make it difficult.
Well, regardless what happens on Sunday, it's all about today. But I'm sorry. I like Ange. I think he is a good manager. But what are you thinking, reacting to the fans like that? You're trying to sort of foster some sort of unity in the last few games of the season. You're trying to kind of galvanise everyone when it comes to this. You've got the Europa League still to fight for, and you need to have a positive end to the season. If you're basically, look, the reality is you are fighting for your job. I think everyone knows that. He's fighting for his job right now, and reacting to the fans. I understand I don't agree with it, but I understand when he's walking by, fans shouting abuse at him, and someone says something that crosses the line and he reacts to it. I don't agree with that. I think he shouldn't be doing that as well. But when you're reacting to the fans singing "You Don't Know What You're Doing" by cupping your ear to the fans, and then you've been left with egg on your face, I don't know what he's thinking doing that after we equalise. I think that is an absolute bizarre kind of move, and it shows to me that he's almost battling against his own fans at the moment, and he's kind of feeding in to that toxic kind of away end that has been for the last few weeks, especially as the results are, and performances have been as they are. The atmosphere is only getting more and more toxic as fans look for someone to blame, and I get that. That's always going to happen, especially when you're in the position that we are in the league. 100%, but it's not. Ange cannot be reacting to that stuff, and I actually think it's ridiculous that he did that. Absolutely ridiculous. Have some humility. Like, I am one of his. I like him. I like Ange. I've defended him on other occasions, but I can't believe that he had the kind of balls to do that. Like, you've got us 15th or 14th in the league, and you're cupping your ears to the fans who are shouting things at you from the stands when they've been proven right, because we ended up with another defeat, and it was a foul anyway. I understand he probably felt vindicated when Sarr scored and all the fans were chanting "You don't know what you're doing," with Sarr coming on for Bergvall. But first of all, Bergvall was our best player, so I don't know why he was bringing him off. I didn't agree with that whatsoever. But obviously, if that goal would have counted, he might have felt, okay, well, these fans are chanting "You don't know what you're doing," and he's the guy I've brought on for Bergvall just scored, so I feel vindicated. But even if that's the case, you haven't done anything. If he's only scored an equaliser, maybe if he scores a winner, you've got something. It would have been 1-1 that point, and you're cupping your ear to your own fans, like you're basically saying, "I told you so." I mean, and we're 14th in the league. That's just absolutely bizarre and ridiculous. And I'm sorry, that's just unacceptable. You can't be doing that as the manager of Tottenham Hotspur when you should be fostering some sort of unity, not battling against your own fans. And I know it's not nice to hear your own fans on the sidelines singing "You don't know what you're doing." I'm sure that isn't nice, but you can't be reacting to that. At the end of the day, we are where we are in the league, and that's under his tenure. So he can't have the arrogance to do that when at this stage. I'm astonished. I'm actually in shock that Ange decided that was a good idea and thought that was. I'm shocked at his kind of thought process that he thought that was a good reaction to Sarr equalising at that point, even though it got ruled out. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked. And apparently Son as well was seen shushing the away end when we equalised. I don't know if there's truth to that or not. There was a tweet about it. Again, I don't know how much truth there is to that. But if that's also true, you're our captain. What is going on at this football club? Our captain and our manager are shushing our away end and are battling, are fighting our away end, essentially. I think tonight reached a new low for in terms of the toxicity between the fan base and the playing staff, I think.
Do you want to say those words, Sim? You can say it.
What was your reaction to what happened?
My reaction to it just goes to show that he doesn't. Jamie Redknapp said it afterwards. There's a disconnect fan. He has no idea what is going on at this football club. I get it. There are times in games, and there are times when we've all probably done it, and we've all been guilty of it, where we've reacted in the heat of the moment. Right? Nobody can sit there. Nobody in the chat. Nobody watching can sit there and say they haven't reacted to that. But there's got to be a point where you think, is this? I don't know. Is he trying to get himself sacked? Is he trying to get the payoff? Because he's not going to walk. So I don't know why he's trying to do it. And if Son has done it to the away fans as well and shushed the away fans, then, well, words just fail me, because everyone was sat here. I came in here and I said, Son is finished. If he's done that, he should be finished tonight. Him, Ange. Look, we all know what the problems at this football club, but can Daniel Levy just be Daniel Levy for a change and just do what he should have done months ago? Because at least then we've got some sort of chance going into next Thursday. Because at the moment, we are slowly walking into an absolute mess. And I don't know, papering over the cracks on Sunday is not going to fix it. We've failed to win in our last 4 games in the Premier League. Our longest winless streak was from the 22nd December to the 22nd of 26th of January, a run of 7 games. We've scored 3 goals in the last 4 Premier League games. 2 of them came in the Bournemouth game. It's just not good enough. Enough is enough. And we need... I know there's people that still back him. I know there's people that are sitting there going, you should support the players, you should support the team. I don't know how anyone can at this precise moment in time.
But I just think that action goes to his current mindset, and that's not a mindset that you can have as a manager of this football club, where you're thinking that you've proven anything by making a sub, and you're I just can't believe it. I can't believe he's decided to do that. Like, all you're doing is causing more division, and all you're doing is wanting the fan. You're basically egging the fans on to want you to fail, essentially, when you're doing that, and you're basically causing division there. And that to me tells me that there's. I guess I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say, but it kind of tells me like he's given up kind of trying to win the support back of any kind of fans, and he's now only out there for himself, that kind of thing, and that's unacceptable. He's manager of Tottenham Hotspur. He shouldn't be out for himself when you're managing this football team, and when you're doing things like that, you're sending, I don't know what kind of message he thinks he's sending to the fans there. Like, you should be trying to, at that point, you should be trying to, like, I understand if you, like, do something like Conte does or whatever, you're, like, trying to G up the fans who just equalise, let's go again. But he's, like, saying, look how good I am. Look, I proved you all wrong. Yeah. And he's been absolutely left with massive egg on his face. Massive egg on his face with that, because the goal got ruled out and we end up with another defeat. And it's, all those horrible stats, that are bandied about, they're all there. And he's got to take responsibility for that. And, yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't know anymore with this manager. I don't know.
You can say it, Sim. You're amongst friends.
I'm not amongst friends. Amongst rats.
The rats. The sinking ship. They're a Stamford Bridge, mate, about to get into the coach.
Honestly,
you can say it, Sim. You can absolutely say it. We're not gonna sit there and say we told you so. We know how you're
gonna cup your ear.
Yeah, I cup my ear.
Cup your ear.
Say what? Say what, Sim? Say what?
I don't care anymore, honestly.
So just say it, Sim. Ben's been wanting you to say it for weeks. Just say it, Sim. Ange out. That's all you have to say. Yeah.
I'm going to give him that Europa League run.
Oh, Sim.
I'm going to give him the Europa League run. But honestly, as soon as he's out of there, he's gone. He's gone. There's no point giving it to anyone else at this point, in my opinion, anyway. But I'm baffled, absolutely baffled. And I do wonder what kind of reaction he's going to get now when we're at the Tottenham Stadium on Sunday. All it's going to do is cause division. All it's going to do is cause division, what he's done. It's absolutely baffling.
Does it speak, looking ahead to Sunday, there's the protest as well. Does that tonight obviously helps it. It doesn't hinder it, does it?
I think you're going to see a lot more people at the stadium vocal about the manager now after that. I wouldn't be surprised. And obviously, when you start doing that to the away fans, only goes one way usually. I think it's inexcusable.
Ange Postecoglou on whether Spurs reached the required level tonight. We almost did. We tried to. I mean, what the hell is this from this manager?
All right. Well, look. It's time for you guys to have your say about what happened, what you saw today, about the what Ange did to the away fans, all these kind of stuff. The link is a link on the community section. Yep. The link's out now in the community section. So do get involved and have your voice heard about everything that's happened today and about what you think about everything Spurs. Got some super chat. Scorpion fans for love. I want him to say it. Ange out. No tactics. No clue. I'm sure a lot of you want me to say it. I can't defend what he's done. I can't defend that. Cannot defend that. Eric Denham says, apparently Ange cupped his ear towards away fans. I'll severely Ange in. Get this man out of our club. Disgraceful. Rich Frith says, it wouldn't have mattered if Sarr's goal counted. Ange reacting to the fans like a 5-year-old is a disgrace. He has to go tonight. It's hard to disagree. Hard to disagree at the moment.
Yeah, it's really...
You can't react like that. You cannot react like that to your own fans. If it was the away fan, if it was the home fans doing it and he cupped his ear to the home fans who were singing that you're getting sacked in the morning and things like that and he's cupping his ear, that would be like a cold Jose Mourinho-esque moment. But he's doing it to his own fans who are frustrated that we've lost so many games and they're voicing their frustration, which they have the right to do. And he constantly says, you know, fans have the right to feel how they want, all these different things. And he goes and does that. I think it's absolute disgrace. Anup Narayan says 430 million in 2 seasons. He's dragged us down to relegation form and some fans want to back him. He's the worst manager we've ever had.
Ange has just said VAR is killing the game, killing the spectacle.
Well, you know, you have your... I think VAR probably got both decisions right, but obviously the fact that it took, 4 minutes on the offside one.
And probably the same
on
on the
other. And the same on the foul.
Even though the foul was pretty clear, right? I get the offside one. It wasn't easy to do, right? But you could clearly see that was a foul straight away.
It was a foul. You can see it on the first viewing. Yeah. It's a definite foul.
I don't know why you needed to
hits him in the knee. It's not a great challenge from Sarr. Probably rightly booked as well. So he got the right decision. He says it's killing the game. It's not the same game as it used to be. The referee gave it, and then needed 6 minutes to rule the goal out for something. The VAR official that was clear and obvious. It's clearly, mate. It's madness. It's crazy, mate. Sorry, it's madness.
Yeah, apparently the after the post-match interview, he's arguing with the Sky journalist. It's it's one to watch.
What do you say?
No, it's just a lot of people saying about Marlon saying this interview's epic, and a few saying he's lost the plot. He's arguing with the journalist. So that'll be one to watch. I'm sure that'll be.
What's he said? Anyone know in the chat? Can anyone tell me what he said? I haven't been able to see. I was seeing his face, but I couldn't really see what he was saying. All right, let's get. I'll get some quotes when we get them, but let's start getting some fans on. Huh? Ah, well, can you put the Alex Humphrey says interview post match is hilarious.
What did you say, Alex?
Anyone know what he said?
What was Ange saying?
Ange lost his head in the interview and started arguing about agendas with the interviewer.
Agendason. We know where that's come from.
He said he was asking the fans to celebrate, not cupping his ears to them.
But that is different than that. No?
I guess I didn't see what he did. I've only heard a second-hand report.
Yeah. Someone said Ange said he needs Sim's context. Needed Sim there.
The link is in the chat now if you want to call in and have your voice heard. I'm trying to see where these quotes are. James Mann said fans have every right to be frustrated. It's still important to go over and see them. Haven't seen any quotes come out from this interview.
No, not yet. It says full quotes to come soon, but it's nothing coming out.
All right. Let's see what people have got to say for themselves. But I guess Ange will try and defend himself if he. I don't know. I don't know if there's video of it. I thought he did.
Well,
all I know is
someone must have it.
Jack Pickbrook was the only one who's been reporting it. But I don't know. Ange is saying he didn't do that. He said he didn't cup his ear. He was asking the fans to celebrate. I don't know. I haven't seen what he actually did. But if he did cup his ears, on Ange on the incident at the away end, he said no idea what you're talking about. The report says, did you look at the supporters? He says, yeah, I want them to be happy. We scored a cracking goal. I wanted them to cheer because they haven't had a lot to cheer about. So it wasn't about... Here we go, 1 minute. Let me just...
Look, it's killing the game, mate. It's not the same game it used to be.
I'm just going to see if we can...
I guarantee you if Jared Gillard was the VAR last night, we would have got a different outcome. So you just don't know what you're going to get. You're standing around.
I don't think he'd complain about VAR, though. He's complaining about the VAR decision, but I think it's a foul.
I think everyone loves the drama, the controversy. I'm sure there'll be 24 hours sort of discussion around it.
But do join the link.
It's just killing the spectacle of the game. You know?
I'm just listening to what Ange had to say.
The referee saw that, and then he needs to see that for 6 minutes. Tell me what's clear and obvious about it. It's just the clean explanation.
Are you talking about the offside or the SARS goal? Because he's saying he was complaining about it needed 6 minutes.
6 minutes for something that apparently clear and obvious. It's crazy, mate. It's madness, but we accept it. And when you accept something, you have to take fall out from it.
So I guess part of your issue, Dan, or a big part of your issue is
Here he comes.
the delay. But do you think that decision's wrong?
Look, Pat, you can try and force me to a corner.
There we go.
Did you think last night was a red card? Was it clear and obvious? Yes, okay. How many minutes did it take this referee to figure out whether it was clear and obvious? In your just basic knowledge of human, vocabulary, clear and obvious, what does that suggest to you? That on the first replay, is that clear and obvious? If you have to watch something quite a few times, is that clear and obvious?
No, it's maybe not clear and obvious. I do think it's a foul, if I'm honest.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. So there you go. So the referee didn't see it. He then needs to see it for 6 minutes, but you get the right outcome, so you're happy, and that's why the game's going the way it is. And I guess people like you will continue to be happy sitting on your couches waiting for 6 minutes for clear and obvious stuff. That's fine. I don't agree with it, but that's fine.
Doesn't seem happy with the VAR, but I don't think you can blame VAR for the result today, because I do think it was a foul, to be honest. I don't know why it did take him 6 minutes to, but that wasn't about the supporters. That clip. I have to see his face when he talks about that. But anyway, we do have someone in the back end here. We've got Mr. Brian Daigle. Brian Daigle, how are we doing, my friend, my brother?
Brothers, people in the chat, I'm fine. I'm fine. There's nothing to get wound up or annoyed about. This is a game that we just cannot win because we have a club with a mentality and cultural and leadership issue. It's a game where we have only won once in Premier League history. It's what's there to be annoyed about? It's the 20th defeat overall of the season, 16th in the league. What honestly, the being angry part now is gone. This is the norm now. This is the norm, having to discuss defeats and trying to find glimmers of hope. Like I'm sure people will come out with, we only lost by 1 goal, so get in there. We're still up for that trophy. What more is there to say? There's no leadership. There's no patterns of play. There's no nothing. You look at it, players like Maddison and other people. Maddison's Sonny, the players that are meant to be the creators and be the big stars that get us out of games. They're nowhere. Vicario may be a brilliant shot stopper, but why is he fisting every single cross? Why is his distribution shocking? Why are we continuing to play out from the back when we systematically can't do it? Chelsea looked disciplined when they were defending the lead. We're just a shambles. We are just an utter shambles. And I don't know what, all you can say is we showed some fight, but got nowhere with it.
Well, no, Ange said we nearly did. We nearly showed enough. I mean, I don't know what game he was watching.
Well, I mean, obviously, with the fans doing that, you don't know what you're doing, and cupping his ear. I mean, we are just in yet another mess in the bullshit production that is Daniel Levy's Tottenham Hotspur. This is just another chapter of something that goes on. 6 years ago today, we played our first game in the Game Changer. 3rd in the Premier League. On our way to a Champions League final. Quality squad. Great manager. Who would have thought 6 years later we'd be sitting 15th in the league? Europe hanging by a thread because we're not going to get it by league position. We need to win the cup, which I don't think we can. Wages decreasing. Another manager failure. Well, what is there to say?
It's who we are, mate. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say anymore, Brian.
Brian, what is your reaction to the reports of Ange cupping his ears to the away fans after the equaliser, which obviously got ruled out from VAR anyway? But like, what is your reaction to that? Have you seen it? I don't know if you've.
I've heard people talk. I understand that fans were singing "You don't know what you're doing" when he made the Bergvall sub, kind of like with the Mora Nuno sub at the time. But I'm not understanding why is he cupping his ears? I don't get why he's done this kind of thing. What is the reasoning behind it?
He said that did he say he did it?
He claims there's a little clip here, maybe I'll watch it off when you're gone, but he claims he says he's been misinterpreted, and he said we'd scored and I wanted to hear the fans. He was trying to G up the fans, trying to hear them cheer. But a lot of people are obviously read it as him basically saying, I told you so, after we scored with the player that he subbed on, essentially. So I guess whoever you believe. It's Ange is saying it's incredible how people misinterpret things, but obviously people will misinterpret an ear cup like that when you're doing it to your away fans.
Well, especially you're doing it to your away fans, but Sim, we've got to look at this now. When we look at it last season, it was because we didn't play too many. We didn't have enough games. This season, it's because we played too many games. Then it's we didn't prepare for the start of the season. Well, you've got 26 years experience. You didn't realise we were playing 3 or 4 games. Our owners didn't realise the European football was coming round. Squad rotation. There's an answer for everything with this. Honestly, and at the beginning of his tenure, he could tell me whatever he wanted, and I was buying everything he was selling. Well, I ain't buying it anymore. It's excuse after excuse, and we are where we are. I mean, Sim, after that performance, where are you right now in your stance with Ange Postecoglou? Let's put you on this. Where are you?
He won't say it, Brian. He won't say it just yet. He's waiting for Frankfurt.
When he does things like that though to the away fans, he's basically trying to turn the place more toxic. That is where kind of a line has to be drawn almost. You can't be doing that to your own fans. And apparently Sonny as well was seen shushing the away fans after the goal. Like, I don't understand what's going on. I understand they've taken a lot of criticism, and maybe they're trying to rally behind each other, and they don't, and they want to. I don't know, but taking it out on your own fans who have been served defeat after defeat this season is not the way to do it.
So you got to look at it also. If we go back to the Alkmaar game when you went out there to the Netherlands, Vicario had a pop, didn't he? Or we thought he had a pop. And then it's the players, it's the fans. Sorry, it's the players, it's now the managers. This keeps happening, and they're trying to say that we need to get behind them. Well, give us something to get behind. We've backed you, we support you. From all around the world, the great away fans and the home match day going fans travel to the Levy Bowl, the entertainment complex, or to away games up and down the country, across the world, at great expense to the fans. And there's no accountability. Like I said, there's no accountability. There's just, we move on. Yeah, well, get behind the tip. Well, what is happening to this football club? What is that? It is literally, it's crumbling. Unfortunately, as a football team, we are crumbling. Football isn't the priority. The lunatics are on in the asylum, and it's just another shit show, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the game itself, there was a few controversial moments. The goal that was ruled out from VAR, they had a goal ruled out as well. Anything you disagreed with in terms of what happened?
It's amazing how long VAR took to check out these goals, but with the red card yesterday, it's done like that. That was, VAR, if we had a choice to have it got, people will say, and I understand the argument for people saying it's not the technology, it's the people using it. But the people using it has been the fundamental time, the whole problem. They're bringing in this semi-automated offside, I think later this month, aren't they, Sim or Nick? So
not this weekend, the weekend after.
I mean, why do it at the end of the season, not at the beginning of the season, like we thought they would have killed half this time? I will say, to begin with, I thought Sarr's goal stood, but when you started seeing the replays, he's got the man first. It may be soft in today's football, but it's the correct.
Brian, I don't think it is soft. I think it could potentially have been a red card, mate. If I'm honest, genuinely.
If you look at it, Nick, I can see where you're coming from, but if you look at it, I see what happened yesterday with Tarkowski.
Yeah, that was a red all day long.
I mean, that's where's a red. I don't know if I'd go as far as to.
No, but we have seen. I mean, if you look at Jota, if you look at Bruno, if you look at the tackles they've done, and I think that's not. They've become subjective rather than actually the standards of refereeing, because that's where the issue is, right? Because any one of us last night, the moment that happened, everyone's saying that should be reviewed and that'll be a red card. That Sarr tackle, when we first saw the replay, okay, cool, that's a foul, it's going to be disallowed. Yeah. What the hell is taking them so long? Like I said to Sim, the offside, I get it. It wasn't clear. It wasn't obvious. They needed to, see where everyone was, see what was doing, and that took so long. But to take that long after just watching that after one thing.
It's ridiculous. But the final thing I'll say, because I'm sure you've got other guests on, and funny enough, I've got to get to the airport, is what I will say with Chelsea at the end, and which you cannot say for Spurs at the moment under this manager, is when it came to them defending the lead at the final stages of the 90 and the 12, every time we were on the attack, all 11 back behind the ball, making it as hard as possible to break us, or for us to break them down, making sure there's no space whatsoever to get a shot on, get it out for just nothing. Whereas with us, we're just open. We're just open. They're a well-drilled team, and whether they spend hundreds of millions or not, they've got the job done, and you can see they are miles upon miles upon miles ahead of us. And whoever the next manager is, because I'm sure there will be a manager change, whether it's after this performance and what's happened at the ground, or after Frankfurt, or in the summer, the next manager coming in, I don't think we can attract a big name manager. I don't think they're going to want to come here. I don't think they'll get what they want. we've got to look at a manager that can just get us back into the top half, about challenging for the Conference League and the Europa League, because we're not going to get back financially to get the Champions League players. The big managers with the big reputations to get the job done won't come. We've really got to look and say Spurs have got. We're starting from Project Zero again, and we've just got to build to try and get back and challenge for the Conference League and the Europa League and do this step by step. Because no big manager's going to come here. There's no magic wand. There's no endless pit or war chest, as Conte was told, but doesn't get. And we need to rebuild our house. And most importantly, and I'll say this finally, Sim, Nick, is everyone knows how I feel about Levy and others feel about Levy. This protest on Sunday is massive. Change for Spurs have done incredible work, phenomenal work. Got brilliant support of the last one. Well, this one needs to be huge. And even if you want to go, I won't even go into a league. I'll just say this week, we have had his bullshit, pearls of bullshit statement with the financials. We've had Paratici obviously not believing the project and go to Milan. We've lost to Chelsea again. 16 defeats. Hopefully this week, and that's just this week, Nick.
Yeah.
The statement, Paratici not coming and losing to Chelsea in the space of 4 days. 4 days. And I could go on for years about what I feel about Levy and why this needs to be big. But for all the work Change for Spurs have done, and Jay, if you can get to the ground and you want change at this football club, whether it is going to make a massive impact to what the grand scheme of things, whether it helps get the bigger exposure that is needed, if you can get to that protest, whether you're going into the ground or not, get there. Because this needs to be massive, because we are just now a banter club. That's what we are. We are a banter club. I expect by the time I land to see Paddy Power have done a tweet about us, Domino's Pizza have done a tweet about us, and I want my football club back. We all want our football club back. Something to be proud of. And we just can't be at the moment.
No, we can't, unfortunately, Brian.
Brian, lovely to chat to you as always, my friend.
Looking
forward to seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Have a safe flight, Brian.
Cheers, brother. Everyone in the chat, have a great evening. And as always, Levy out.
Now, as we were live, they were just showing a clip of Ange in his press conference on Sky, and I wonder if he's now said something in his press conference as well. I don't really know, but they seem to be interested in showing. I want to just listen to this response. This is him talking about the fans thing.
Well, no, because they booed the substitutions you made. Both off Saar, and when Saar thought he'd scored, I saw that you looked at them. You heard the chants. You don't know what you're doing. You heard that? You don't think you looked at the supporters? Yeah.
To be happy, we just scored a cracking goal. So I wanted them to, I was listening, I wanted them to cheer.
He's lost it.
Fine. So that was nothing to do with the substitution being booed. If it's a no, it's a no. I've got it wrong. Fine.
Fine. Our substitutions are very good. If you follow my sort of tenure, it's not the first time, and they're allowed to boo, but I wanted them to cheer because I thought it was a cracking goal.
Yeah. What happened with you and the supporters tonight, Ange? Well, no, because they booed the substitutions you made. Both off Saar, and when
He does seem genuinely surprised when he asked him that question.
Yeah, he did.
well, no, because they booed.
So, and I kind of feel bad for him if that's not what he intended, but there is footage. Some people have posted a little clip. You can see he's like that to the fan, like that. I haven't seen the video, but there's a little. Is that a video or is that just a picture?
It's a video.
Go on, let's see.
He's walking towards the fans and he's cupping his ear. That doesn't say to me.
You want him to cheer. You
want him
usually
to
go
cheer.
like that.
You go like, come on,
like that.
let's go.
Yeah, you don't go like that.
Yeah.
No one's ever really gone like that to. Well.
I don't know. It's a bit strange, isn't it? Very strange. Anyway.
All right, let's get Nathan. Let's get him on. How you
My
doing,
guy, Sim.
Nathan? Hey,
What's
my
good?
guy, my guy.
Here we go.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
It's not a good day
can
for
both
us.
say it. You two can both say
All
it.
right,
We're
let
here.
him get us. Let him speak. Let him speak.
Yeah, man. Chai.
Nathan,
Yeah.
look, another defeat today. Ange, being videoed cupping his ear to the away fans after a goal that was ruled out. A pretty poor performance again today, let's in all honesty. A poor, definitely mistake for the goal as well. Tell me about your feelings after that.
I feel like I don't feel pain anymore, to be fair. Like, just it's been bad. But me and you, we're grown men, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this big age, me and you, we need to have some sense. Ange has to go, bro. We have to have sense.
Yes, I love it.
Look, I still kind of have the feeling where I want to keep him. Like the football we have with him is always beautiful when it's at its best. Bold words, at its best. But with the actions today, cupping the fans, with the football we're playing, the players look dead. I don't know. Give him Europa, but I feel like even if he wins Europa, can we stick with him? What do you think, Sam?
Yeah,
Because
I'm
me and you, we
struggling.
think we're the smartest people in the world. You know, we think alike. So what do you think?
Yeah, I'm struggling. I'm struggling tonight for sure, especially with him kind of seeming to be fostering toxicity. Now he's defended his actions, Nathan, saying he was trying to get the fans to cheer louder, and he's saying people are trying to make an agenda out of it. I don't know if you've seen the video. He definitely starts walking to the away fans and like cups his ear like that and walks towards them.
Yeah.
Do you buy what he's saying? Is he covering his ass, or is he telling the truth? And have we misread what he's doing?
He's definitely what we young people call capping. So when you're doing this is what I do to my little brother when I'm beating him in FIFA. This is to try to get him mad, you know? He's lying. That's cap. He, obviously with the critics, they're singing, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. He's just
He
trying to cover
claims he
himself
never
up.
heard it. He claims he didn't hear that.
How can you not hear it? Man heard it from the TV. What are you talking about? What
I
do you
agree.
mean? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty. We'll never know really, but if you're doing this, it's taking the piss, bro. Like that's long. I don't know what to say. Just this can't carry on for much longer, man. Like
No,
I used to
I
think,
agree.
your brother Ben. I still do think he's a big baby, but like from the things I'm seeing, not only him, I like Brian Daigle and that man's always crying, but you know, you have to realize it. Ange cannot carry on, bro. I'm sorry, Sam. Like, maybe if we're in Europa, man might change his heart. But after this, yeah, especially after this, nah, fam.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. I agree. You can't be doing that to the fans. When you start fighting your own fans, it only goes in one direction, and all it does is foster negativity and toxicity. Now, I understand he's had run-ins with fans before, but this is very different. I feel.
Yeah.
The other fans before, the other ones have been like, they've been shouting abuse to him, and he's kind of just snapped a bit. Some of the abuse he's been getting, that's more like personal. But like when you've got, like, look, for me, it's more like with 14th in the league, he has to have some humility about him. You can't be so arrogant and start like bigging himself up when all he's done is like, it wasn't even a winner. It was like an equaliser, which any goal got ruled out. So he's left with egg on his face. So like, he's acting as if like the fans have no right to complain, and saying, look at like Sharp, look, it was the right decision. Like I made the right call. It's like, bro, and like even if that is the right case, like you can't react to your own fans like that. If you do it to the home fans, not your own fans, your away fans, they're the people you're supposed to be supporting and fostering unity with, and you're acting like a complete arrogant bastard, basically. Let's be honest.
Yeah. To be
and
fair,
I don't like seeing that. Like that's a side to Ange I never thought I'd see, but that's something that honestly disgusts me. If that's to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the past events that I've seen have been direct at specific individuals, but this one felt like at me, at you, at my guy Nick, everybody. This one like all the fans. He can't do that, bro. Like. But my one thing that I really want to talk to you about is Heung-min Son. What are we saying, bro?
Yeah, it wasn't great today. It wasn't great. No, but apparently he was caught shushing the fans as well.
Son's finished, bro, with the club, bro. I appreciate my guy's son. Big lover of Son, but after the season he has to go. Especially captain doing this as well. I haven't seen any evidence of it yet, but
I've heard there's only been one guy tweeting. Apparently, he was after we scored. He was shushing the away fans.
that's a matter. So, what do you think is next then? What do we do now?
Oh, someone's in the back end. What do we do next? I don't know. Honestly, I thought he for sure would get the Europa League run, but after that, if the club if the club think he's lying in his interview, unless they're convinced by him, his excuse or whatever his reason, but if they believe that he's lying and he did and he was doing that and we ended up losing anyway, there is a good chance he might go before the Frankfurt game. I think.
You not clap the fans at the end of the game?
Didn't seem to. Apparently, he stayed by the halfway line, which, to be fair, I think is probably the right decision. Because I don't think.
To be fair, that's probably the only decision he's got right tonight.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's a smart thing to be going to the away fans after what he did and causing more problems. So. I don't. But apparently he stayed around the halfway line. But this is the first time I genuinely think there's a good chance he might go before the Frankfurt game.
So, do you want
on Thursday?
Mason? Would you?
I don't want him. I wouldn't rather have Ryan Mason. No. I'd rather.
Hey.
No, I wouldn't. What's the point?
No, there's no chance. But can we go through any more of this? I can't. I haven't for a long time. I can't go. Ramon Vega's just come out with a tweet. And he said after tonight's game, why would any Spurs fan want to attend the next match? They might feel forced to go because they've already bought the most expensive ticket in the Premier League, only to endure more disappointment. It seems like there's only one winner in this situation, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. My heart goes out to the loyal Spurs fans. Come on, you Spurs! And he's tagged the club in it as well, the official.
The only thing that they might think Ray Mason is, you might as well do it because. If this toxicity is only going to grow, because how are fans going to, with fans seeing what they saw or reported as well in this game, what kind of reaction are they going to give him on Sunday? And if that toxicity is only going to grow, then they might feel like they might as well just put Mason in just to lift that to make sure that's not a thing. And when they know there's a big protest on Sunday as well, they know they've got that to deal with. So. I think there is a chance we might wake up tomorrow and he's gone. There is a chance, to be honest. It's the first time I've really actually felt that.
Yeah, man, I'm still with you. Like, I'm not 100% like Ange out because when I've seen the football when he's at his best, it looks amazing. But his latest actions, I'm not even really too worried about the actions doing this. I'm more focused on the football. It's not been right. The players don't look motivated. They look dead. Look at Ramiro. Obviously, he made the mistake against Brazil. Man's looking happy, joyful. He's playing the best. He comes here, he's looking dead. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. When's the last time you felt like we're going into the game, you're thinking we're going to win? Like, you actually have confidence we're going to win. When's the last time that happened for you?
When was the last time that happened? When we...
Southampton,
we beat... you know what? When we beat United, I was confident in that game, but it's been a while.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to take too much time. Tell your brother, Ben. He might be right, bro. I got to apologize to him. I know when man's wrong, but...
Big up, man. It takes a lot to admit that. Sim's not there yet, but Sim's nearly there.
It's good to see him.
I reckon we'll get him tomorrow. I reckon we'll get Sim tomorrow.
I got to... Hey, Sim, I'm sorry, bro. You my guy. You're still the top guy. But I have to tap out. Ange has to... I have to tap out.
Big up, man.
We've lost Nathan.
We lost Nathan, but big up for coming on and saying it, man.
Nice one, Nathan.
He can say it, Sim. Why can't you say it, mate? He can see it.
I need to sleep on it. You need to sleep on it.
I need to sleep on it.
Oh,
Ben will get you out of you tomorrow. I know you want to wait for Ben to say it because he'll be like, oh, can you believe? Ben will be like, you said it when Barry was there. Unbelievable.
I will sleep on it. I'll see how I feel tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, are you going to feel any better?
I'll see if Ange has a press conference to talk tomorrow, and I'll see how I'm feeling. But look, honestly, it's hard to. You can't defend what he did today. Can't defend it, and the football was terrible on top of that as well. So honestly, let's get E6 on.
E6.
I'm sure that's
Hello?
not your. I'm sure it's not your birth name.
No,
You
it's
see?
not. It's not. Really?
Yeah, we can hear
can
you loud
hear
and
you,
clear,
buddy.
mate. Loud and
Yeah, I was
clear.
gonna say the problem with this team is, honestly speaking, this team had a lot of potential in the beginning when we first started, but the problem is cohesion. The most important part of a football team is the midfield. We don't have the cohesion in the beginning of the season that carries through the entire season. And when you have the inexperience of Bergvall, who has his positional duties are very, very low. He's inexperienced when it comes to positioning himself properly to hold down the DM role. So we can't afford to play Bergvall, who's had, first of all, his form recently. He hasn't really played much. Secondly, he's playing against Chelsea, a team that's in form. And to top it off, his position awareness isn't as good as it should be to handle that midfield. And he's being played there. Bentancur, his team, Uruguay played against Bolivia. They conceded 32 shots. He's playing that midfield with Ugarte, 2 DMs. It shows there. The form, the midfield, all the problem we have so far is in the midfield. Majority of it's in that midfield. And when you keep changing it game by game, we change the midfield. Basuma, Bentancur, Bergvall, and we rotate it over and over and over again. We're killing our cohesion. We have no cohesion. We can't follow through. Madison dropping in from Cam, dropping in to play alongside the center backs to help us carry possession forward is killing our attack as well. We're playing the back foot. We're playing to invite pressure, to play through the press. We don't have the caliber of players to play through the press. It's as simply said, and we've been trying the same thing over and over again. Ange has had success everywhere he's gone with this blueprint. So obviously he's like committed to this blueprint. He thinks it's gonna work, so he's like committed to it. So I don't blame him for thinking like that, but I think there comes to a point where we realize that in the beginning of the season, we made a gamble. Like he said, we sent 10 players out. We brought in 4. We made a gamble by bringing in players like Gray and Bergvall, who were inexperienced, and we don't have enough reinforcements for our midfield. We don't have the caliber of players to play the place that we want to play. So we shouldn't be playing this place there to play. The caliber of players we have is for a counter-attacking style. So what can you do, honestly? What can you do? I think we get rid of Ange and bring in a manager. In my opinion, my dream manager for this team would be Hansi Flick before he went to Barcelona. Hansi Flick would be an absolute...
Anyone realistic?
Sorry?
Anyone realistic?
Realistically, at the moment, I don't really see anyone realistically. I honestly don't really see anyone. I forgot what his name was. This guy used to manage Bayern after Hansi Flick. What was that guy's name again?
Nagelsmann.
Manager. Sorry?
Nagelsmann.
Yes. Nagelsmann or Hansi Flick. If we're lucky, if that guy comes in, then we're on the right path. But I don't really see it with Ariola. I don't really want any counter-attacking managers. I want a manager to come in. I want us to afford him the funds to sort out that midfield, which is very important because without that midfield being sorted out, this team will go nowhere. The main issue is that midfield. Bergvall, Gray, inexperienced. They don't have the positional IQ to root in that midfield. That's what we got played through. Today, Chelsea, one pass through the middle, counterattack. One pass through, counterattack. If you call the middle,
do you think it's not necessarily down to the personnel, but them being well drilled and well coached? Because I think that any decent coach, I don't think Ange is one, could get better out of these players. Do you not think?
I think the players can play to a better tune than they're playing at right now. But I think the recent results you've had, it's a mental effect, a simple psychology. You're not going to play in a team that's lost this many games back to back and play to the same level that you know you can play to. You don't have the motivation to play to that level in the first place. I think the players are, no matter how much you say you believe in the system, if you're losing that many games back to back,
I don't think these players. We saw what Madison said in what was it, the Alkmaar game. Same every time, right? I think these players have checked out. I think this manager is clutching at you know, he's
Clutching
like
at straws. I love
he's
this
clutching
guy.
at straws. I think he's like Mufasa on that rock, man. He's waiting for Levy to come like Scar and just push him down, man.
But I
don't
will
know.
say one very important thing before I leave you guys. That a lot of people don't realize. The manager is I think he's exactly a very good manager, a very great manager. In fact, you put Ange in a different team, and you might see a totally different result. The gamble the board made and sending out 10 players and bringing in 4. The sporting director, what's his name? The new guy we have.
Lange.
Yeah.
I think a lot of blame needs to be put on the fact that we sent out 10 players, knowing we had more games to play for, brought in 4 players, 2 of which, Bergvall and Gray, 18 and 19 years of age, inexperienced players, and we thought we were going to compete with that. That taking that gamble in itself was suicide. So the blame needs to start from the sporting director and the players we recruit for the team. We didn't afford the manager or the players to carry out the play style he wants to carry out. And Ange is the kind of person who's going to carry out his blueprint no matter what. So the beginning of the blame needs to start with the sporting director. It needs to be outside the manager, start with the players we brought in. We don't have the experience to carry it. He wanted to bring in Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher in that midfield at Cam would enable us to have the pressing intensity to make sure our attack was staged in the opposition's half. If Colin Gallagher was there today in that team, Madison on the width, for example, on the wing, you see a completely different team today. We need the personnel to carry
Yeah,
out
we do. I
So we
think,
need
but also, I think that, you know, Ange does silly things like, I'm happy that signings, I'm responsible for the signings. I make the final say.
Well, he has to say that, doesn't he?
And he doesn't have to say that.
Well,
He doesn't have to say that.
He does,
Because he
because
embraced the blame.
Conte said the opposite, and he was probably part of the remit that you can't be going against the
Yeah,
club.
there's a-
Not
that's
the
the reason
not
why
the
Conte-
final.
Yeah, I understand that, and I understand
That's
about
why Conte's won. He has several accolades to this day, at the top level, top of the top. He needs to back himself. Ange Postecoglou is coming. He's new. He has to prove himself. So it feels like he has to compensate by saying that all these decisions are made by him. Conte and Mourinho, we need managers that are ruthless. You know, the ruthlessness that we need. We need that energy. I feel like Ange is too nice at times. Honestly, taking on the blame he doesn't need to take on the blame. Say it how it is. You weren't back by the board. You were brought in 4 players, and you sent 10 out, and we have more games to play for. Injuries happen because of the intensity, and this is what's happening now. So, what can you do? Honestly, I think the problem needs to start with we need to get midfield. We need to invest heavily in our midfield before we go anywhere.
Do you sack him tonight? Do you at the end of the season? What do you think? What would you do? What do you think the club will do after what's happened tonight?
The club will do. I think. Honestly, I have no idea what I would do. I would say we keep him. I honestly want to see what this team looks like when we build up cohesion. Bissouma is an excellent player when he's in form. Brilliant player, and that has to be realized. I think Bissouma's being displayed. Honestly, I think we should need to find a DM and give Bissouma a more attacking freedom. Like from the Conor Gallagher role, if you imagine Bissouma playing further up the pitch and then the ball higher up the pitch, he has that positional awareness. He has that drive, like a Kante. I think we can morph Bissouma into like a Madueke Kante kind of vibe, and have him win the ball higher up the pitch and maintain that pressure. If we have a proper DM and Bissouma and maybe Bentancur, this team will be firing. Bentancur, Bissouma, the proper DM, this team will be firing, honestly. So I think we need to have faith and play it through to see if we can do anything in Europa. Maybe replace the manager, but the most important thing is we need to invest in acquiring players that can sustain the ball. We need to raise the floor of our midfield. The floor of our midfield is too low. Levels drop too low, so we need to make sure we raise the floor for our midfield.
All right. E6, great call, mate. Thanks for calling in. Nice to hear from you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
I keep telling you, Sim. It's all started when he got rid of Emerson Royale.
That was the beginning of the downfall.
That was the beginning of the downfall. Oh, I cannot wait
Here
for
we
this,
go, here we
Sim.
go.
I cannot wait for this. I'm just going to sit back. Vinny, you got any popcorn, mate?
Let's get the Jorical on. Jory.
Hey Sim, how you doing?
Not great, Jory. Not great. I'm holding up, taking it from all angles today, Jory. You most of all.
Sim.
Wait, what's going on? I can hear. Can you mute someone in the background? I can hear something.
Oh, there's somebody in the background with.
Yeah, 1 sec. I think it's all right
yeah.
now. Is it all right now?
Yeah.
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 Go on.
I was gonna say, Sim, I love you, man. You have to,
But Sim, the butt's coming.
but you need help, my friend. You know, you need to visit Ants Anonymous as soon as possible. You know, tonight. Nick, can you go with him tonight? Maybe.
I can take him. I can take him wherever
Is
we need
there
to take him
24/7 meetings?
Yeah, wherever we need to go, we'll take him tonight. But he won't
We
say
need
it.
to have you in a fixed order before next season, Sim. You know, we need to get you back.
I haven't gone anywhere.
No. I feel for you. It's not the best position to have right now. But I can, you know, I know how it is. I've been flip-flopping on this guy since the Chelsea game probably. But I will say though, in general, like it's a long time since I saw the tactics are not up to scratch. And for example, tonight I thought we played a lot better than I expected. Of course, I always expected the loss. And to be honest, I think seeing that we play a lot better, I think it's a testament actually to a fairly good squad that we have, and they were putting a fight in. But they're working against the tactics that they're being put onto the pitch with, you know. We saw it at the start of the game, just a couple of balls through over and all mayhem ensues, you know, and midfield, nobody is blocking a straight run through our midfield, and, you know, it's just formationally, it's complete insanity, you know, and you know, one of your call, I don't know if it was the last caller or the one before that, said he didn't want to see counter-attacking football at our club. But the thing about the Premier League is all the successful teams have very strong transitional football. And we know that we have been some of the best at that, you know, through the years under all kinds of managers. So that needs to be a big factor in the game. And to be honest, the whole overload in offense with the inverting fullbacks and all of that stuff, we don't have any overload. Everybody sits back, 11 men behind the ball. So there is no overload to be had. So that game has been over for almost a year. And that's what we're seeing, the statistics. So I'm happy with this squad that we have, but I'm fearful. I don't think it's not a question of winning anything anymore. Now it's a question of getting back to post-Pots levels, and we're quite far from it. I really fear that we're in for 5 brutal years or something. We are spiraling out of control, and I think if the rumor that Paratici, one of the reasons that Paratici exited was Ange, then that's kind of the final piece of evidence for me, because Paratici, whatever you think of him, he's an absolute veteran at the top level in this game. And if he's throwing the towel in, because we know he was passionate about the Tottenham project. We know he was very much, up for it. It was a big thing for him when he came in. Then, of course, the unfortunate ban and all of that, but he still stuck around. And I expect that's because he intended to then come back and follow through on that project. Well, if he's now finally leaving ship as well, might just be because it's a great job at Milan, which it is. I mean, that's a great honor to have that job. But you've heard rumors that it's a lot to do also with this situation this season. Then I feel like the kind of the, you know, Levy rolled the dice and listened to the fans in the absolute worst moment, and you know, put his bet on a guy that's not up to scratch, you know, and And for me also, like even if you think that Ange is and thought like many of us thought that he is a great manager and stuff like that, for me, I find it unbelievable how gullible this fan base is, because I can live with Ange being compared to maybe Areola now, or even a Nagelsmann, who Nagelsmann is a lot more proven entity in elite football than Ange, But if you think that Ange is anywhere in the same stratosphere as a Conte or Mourinho, and operates in any way the same way, then you basically don't know anything about football and managers, in my view, because Ange might be the next great thing, but he's not there. So you take a chance on it. You see, like we did with Potts, it worked out. It was beautiful. But to suggest that Ange has any credit in the bank to be in the same realm as Potts and Conte and Mourinho and whatever is just ridiculous in my view. And what we've seen is, okay, we took a punt on an unknown. Another unknown we talked to was Slot, and he's turning out pretty nicely. He has, of course, better resources to work with, but he's also shown tactically how brilliant the guy is. But there's nothing wrong with taking a punt on an unknown, but the evidence has been there for over a year that he was not the guy, for me at least. And so he's not going to be the next great thing in any top level football. He's going to go back to the level where he was and probably be fairly successful at that. I don't think there's anybody coming for him in top European football after this job here. And I do hope also that we get him out the door tonight, because I saw that video actually of him being surprised at the interview when he told him how it was being construed, and the man is lying through his teeth. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm no lie detector, but that's lying. That's very obvious. Like he was expecting that angle, and he had his reaction completely prepared to a T. So.
What do you think that tells you about where his head's at, that he reacted
But
to Spurs scoring like that?
Well, I haven't been able to watch the press interviews because this man has a humongous ego, and it's the most fragile ego we've had in this club ever, in my view. And he doesn't have any credit for it. Like, I'll take arrogance from people who have credit for it, And usually those people, if they go off the thin end, then it's because the situation is crazy and so on. It's not like a constant gaslighting like Ange has been doing now with all journalists. And you can just feel it when the pressers start. You're not allowed to put any pressure on his person. If you do, you're gonna get a real mouthful back. And that's okay. But the way he does it is not professional. It's in a very intimidating and demeaning way, I think so. And that's just lack of class. Fine, some people do have that, but. For me, it's always revealed that he's a very fragile ego, and a fragile ego is somebody that always is somebody that is pretending to be something that they're not quite convinced they are themselves. And if Anne's not convinced, then I'm not convinced either. And the evidence is on the field, I feel. So, but I ask you, Sim, I mean, how do you feel like? How do you feel like in terms of, because let's see, for me also, if we win the Europa League, it doesn't change anything, The evidence is still there that the management has been absolutely terrible. The game management has been terrible in the league. A cup run is something that can be lucky and you can go through. But I'm not even going to take it. Let's say it's good management from him and he gets us all the way. I have no faith in that happening at all. I have much more faith in if we fire him tonight and we even get Mason in, that it's more likely that we can win that way. But let's just say that, you know, the management of the injuries, of the recruitment, of the tactics on field, you know, of the in-game substitutions, on and on and on. And when he's changed it up, he's shown a complete, like, amateur level skills, like when he went to the back three and stuff like that, like completely reckless. Yeah, no skills at all in that regard. So, you know, I do believe that he has this formula, and it's very successful in slightly lower leagues, but it's like, that's it. That's what the guy's got, and that's it.
Joey, I got a question for you. There's 8 games left in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
How many are we winning? Southampton, Wolves, Forest, Liverpool, West Ham, Palace, Villa, Brighton.
We're winning Southampton.
That's all I can think as well.
Yeah. And he's going to be annoying as fuck, like we've won some kind of silverware or something in that presser.
Sim,
afterwards.
do you see anything apart from that Southampton one? Realistically, the way we've been playing, the way that we are playing.
I don't know. Maybe 1 or 2. Maybe we'll beat Wolves as well. Well, the thing is, we're going to be rested. It depends how it goes against Frankfurt. Depends if we go through against Frankfurt or not, because we're going to be resting players in the Premier League.
Frankfurt either. But if we do, we don't. I mean, I don't see how.
I think it comes down to. I think both games will come down to. I think we'll win at home, and I think Frankfurt will win at home. But what that looks like, I don't know. Could be a 1-0 for us and a 2 or 3-1 for them.
I could see possibly us winning at home, but I don't think we're getting through Frankfurt. I think they'll get it. I think that they have a much more. I mean, and I haven't watched them or anything, but we are in a plane crash situation as it is, you know. So for us, the players have to almost patch it together themselves, you know, and that's not their role, but sometimes it kind of looks okay. Like tonight, I actually thought we had spells that looked all right, you know, and I was happy with the players' effort and so on, you know, and but they're working against this absolute nightmare of tactics, you know, because I can buy that the tactics have their place when you manage to get the overload, but we never do. They never expose themselves so that we have that overload. They always have a setup where they manage to get 11 men behind the ball.
Yeah.
So, and that's always when we look the best, by the way, and that's when we play the best, like the famous Man City game, is when we transition, when we do the 3-touch transition and score. You know, so yeah, I'm not. But once again, for me, and I'm not now. I'm like in a place, and I actually think Levy is a little bit in a tough. Like I've been a Levy outer forever, but I actually think this is beyond what Levy can accept. Or I think he's quite panicked about the football situation because this brand is going down big time, and the manager's search is going to be a nightmare. They're going to have to throw enormous sums at the managers to get anybody with any kind of reputation in.
He's in a very difficult spot. I agree with you. Yeah. With the season going as badly as it has, and sacking Ange and convincing a top manager to come here right now, it's going to be very difficult.
We have a fucked up medical department. We have a absolutely furious fan base. We have the whole, of course, history of Levy and his crowd, which is not popular in football. And you know, we have the star players looking for the exit now, which was what I always feared with the Ange tenure. That's what I started fearing a year ago. Is like if between injuries and lack of results, are key players for this project are going to be out before we can bring it to any fruition, So and that's what we're starting to see. Kulusevski is maybe next to be looking around, and certainly people are kind of starting to charm his boots.
But it's interesting. You saw apparently there are rumours of Sonny today shushing the away fans when the goal went on. But what does that tell you about where the players are at the moment?
No, well, that's also the culture thing. Is like there's a culture of avoidance in Tottenham, and I've talked many. There's the non-confrontational aspect is of course quite English as well. You're very courteous and well-mannered and all of that, And this is what I hoped always with the Italian gang around Conte, that we could change that a little bit, because the thing is, when something is wrong, when something's not right, leaving it, not bringing it up, it's always going to make it a lot worse. You need to confront that shit right up front, and we don't do that. So everybody kind of goes into this bubble, this echo chamber that the players and the coaches live in, and they kind of get a us and them mentality towards the fans when it's going like this. And I'm sure they maybe also have it towards the corporate side of the club when with other things, in terms of pay, or like Kuti with the medical situation, and so on. So it's not what you it's the exact recipe for non-winning culture. It's not one
everything is so fractured right now, isn't it, Jory? You have players
exactly.
You have players speaking about the board. You had Romero, Son, Decky have mentioned things potentially about the board. You have the manager going at the fans. You have the fans singing "You don't know what you're doing" to the manager. You have people at you've got protests from the fans against the board. Like I don't know, I can't remember a time where it's ever been more fractured across the whole club.
No, and there's kind of two ways to go about it. There's the Pochettino way, which we now maybe appreciate beyond what he was able to do football-wise. What a brilliant diplomat he was! How he could bring everything together. What an absolute kind of brilliant politician he was to bring all the different ambitions and agendas together and make it gel as one. The other way is to bring in a true general like a Conte and whatever, and give him the keys to the car, and let him, like, now it's yours. You control, like you tell everybody from the cook to the even to the chairman how it's gonna go, and we go that way, But we didn't do that with him. Mourinho would have been like an old school Potts approach, I feel like that, but I certainly don't think like the up and coming superstars are going to be able to change this. Like if we get an Areola now, for example, I don't think he will change that. I think he will do a lot for the football. He'll bring a lot better tactics and probably bring some good coaching as well and all of that, but he won't be able to change that aspect of the club. That's why I'm so disappointed that Paratici is going, because I was hoping, I said I think I called you guys, Ben was on or something, I said, like, if I had to give you a recipe for getting back to post Potts levels again, that's being a top 4 club, I would, like, the shortest way for me would be to appoint a Paratici as sporting director and give him full control, and then getting Potts back as soon as possible. Because even if they don't win anything, Paratici will bring his vast experience of running a top club and recruiting and all of that, and Potts will get the cohesion back in the whole ecosystem of Tottenham, So,
Jory, look, we're going to have to move on because we're running out of time, but appreciate you calling in as always, mate. Appreciate the call.
Good to see you
Big up,
guys.
Jory.
Good to see
There's
you.
a lot more hurt to come, I'm afraid.
There is Sim. More for you though, mate. More for you.
There's a lot of hurt going around, don't worry.
AA Sim. And Anonymous.
We're going, Jory. As soon as we finish, we're going.
We're going.
Okay.
Nice one, Jory. And we've got Sonny J. Is he there? Sonny J? Give him a sec. Give him a sec. Hey, Sonny? I can't hear him. Is it his end or our end?
right.
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. How you doing, Sonny? Thanks for calling in. What you got to say?
Well, look, I've been supporting Tottenham since I was a kid, yeah, and this is a joke now, man. Do you know what I mean? What's happening to us? But you know what? You see, when we played Chelsea today, it's like a boxing match, yeah? When you're playing them away, you can't really expect nothing from the Bridge, you get me? When was the last time we fucking won at the Bridge?
2018.
Yeah, when we had fucking Dele Alli. You get me? We had fucking Dele Alli then. And then look, we haven't replaced people like that. We haven't replaced Ericsson. We haven't replaced people like Moussa Dembele. We sold Robbie Keane and Berbatov, and we bought fucking Fraser Campbell. Yeah?
Yeah. Fraser Campbell.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fraser Campbell.
I was right. Is
Yeah.
that Fraser Forster? No,
Right.
no, it's Fraser Campbell. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Fraser
Sonny,
Campbell,
what's
and
the
then today, us lot, we fucking sold Kane, and we're getting hyped about some prick called Tell who can't even fucking hit a barn door. He's a youth, man. Why are we fucking getting like excited over £50 million waste money for Tell and shit like that?
Who should we have signed? Who should we have signed? Who should we have signed?
No, we shouldn't. You know what? We fucked it now, man. We're in big trouble. Conte said it how it was. You know that from the start, mate. Like because
So
now,
what's the solution?
what's the solution? I think we should shut up for a minute, yeah. I'm trying to talk, yeah.
Don't ever do that.
All right,
to me.
well, I'm trying to talk, yeah. Listen, I think, yeah, we need to fucking keep Ange is finished though, yeah. But who are we gonna get? Thomas Frank from Brentford, yeah.
Who would you appoint? Who would you be your dream choice?
Pochettino, because he actually feels the love for Tottenham, and he knows how to get on with Levy and fucking lick his little ball sack and all that. You get me? Because
You attending the protest on Sunday? You going to the protest?
Nah, last game I went to was Harry Kane's flipping last game for us, the friendly when we beat
Shakhtar.
some dead Russian team, fucking Sparta. I can't remember.
Shakhtar, yeah.
Shakhtar, yeah.
Shakhtar, yeah. I went to that one, the last game I went to, yeah. But at the end of the day, we're a good team, but what's happened to us? Romero don't care. You're relying on people that have got do you know what I mean? Like we need a defence and shit like you know what I mean?
All right, Sonny. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, Sonny. So we're gonna have to love you and leave you. But appreciate your time for calling in, mate. Thanks for giving your opinions.
Look after yourselves, yeah.
You too, mate. You too. That was Sonny J. We got Mark D as well in the background. Let's get Mark on. Mark, appreciate you calling in. How are you doing tonight? Tell me what you want to talk about. I can't hear him. Why can't I hear him?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you now.
Cool,
what do you want to talk
cool.
about, Mark?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm a little bit sick of hearing about Ange's tactics, because at the end of the day there is no tactics. Because can anybody tell me what we were supposed to be playing like over the last 2 seasons? It came up on Sky Sports straight away, didn't it? It came up as both teams were playing. What was it?
Can you
4-2-3-1? What is that? I don't get it.
Sorry, what's what? Sorry.
It said 4-2-3. Was it 4-2-3-1?
Yeah.
Or 4? What tactic is that? I don't understand. Somebody explain to me.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that formation?
Yeah. So what does it do? So you so there's 4 at the back, 2 in the middle, because our 2 in the middle, Bentancur, I mean, I was worried straight away when Bentancur was starting. Anyway, not that we've got anybody else, but Bentancur, I'm sorry, is terrible. You've got Lucas Bergwall running around like a headless chicken. You've got James Maddison, who tries to go to the left, but then he stays on the left and tries to come inside. He can't really do anything because no one's doing his donkey work. You've got Son, who needs someone to do his donkey work because Kane used to do it. You've got on the other side, you've got Odeberg, who's just young and he's only just getting into the game, really. He's only had one half a good season with Burnley. And then, other than that, you've got Jed Spence. Yes, he tries and tries and tries and tries. And then, basically, you've still got Udogi, who's still unproven. We have got nothing. And people keep gassing up, even Romero and Van de Ven. Van de Ven, he's so worried about his hamstrings, he couldn't really play tonight because he hasn't played. Because the last game he should have played was against Fulham, and he should have stretched his legs then because now he's worried. And then you've got Romero, who quite frankly plays like he absolutely does not give a shit at the moment. And he's played like that for not just this season, he's played like that for a good season and a half. So I don't know what players we're gassing up except Bergvall, good player. He keeps driving forward. Yes, Saar, quite, can get there, keeps on trying. The rest of them, I'm sorry.
So, Mark,
yeah.
what would you do? What would you do if you're in charge? How do you fix this?
What I would do, seriously, Sim, because I watch your channel all the time, and I go on Sav's channel as well. And I'm not the Ange and Ange. What I am is Ange is a terrible manager. He's out of his depth. That is absolutely stonewall, and we just cannot deny it. Because what we keep doing is going on about, oh, this manager's tactics. Oh, if he had this player and that player. I'm sorry, good players play in any team, and I don't care where good players come from. Good players are good players. They could come from the Spanish league, wherever they are, blah, blah, blah. Good players are good players. And then when you've got someone that coaches, yes, coaches, and then makes people into good players, then they're going to be good players anyway. Ange is dead in the water. What he does, he hasn't got a clue. Because today, the fact is, today, we had our best team out. We had our best team. That's our best team out. Apart from people can argue Kulusevski should be in there. That was Tottenham Hotspur's best starting 11. There is absolutely no denying that. People can say what they want, and he still could not do anything with them. He could still not change it. He could still not say. He could still not say. Move around. Move. Can you go to the left? Can you go to the right? Can you go up front? Can you stop the block? Can you do? He could not do anything. He stood on the sideline, and what we saw on Sky Sports, where he shouted for a little bit. He went, "Oh, oh." No one even knew what he was saying. It didn't matter anyway. And then he berates the fans. The last game I went to was the Roma game, which was absolutely atrocious, although we got away with it. I've been going for, I may not look it, but I've been going for over 45 years. I worked there when George Graham was in charge as well. When George Graham was around, and people berate this, but George Graham won a trophy. Have you noticed that everyone that wins a trophy has actually won something before? Everyone we get in, people keep gassing up Poch. I didn't want Poch in the first place. And what did Poch do? Oh yeah, Mark. He got us to a Champions League final. Whoop the fucking woo. So what? So damn what? But Poch lost nearly every away game for a whole goddamn year. And we're gassing him up. We're gassing him
So who would
up.
be your perfect appointment?
Perfect appointment. I tell you what we should do now. We should just go back to basics, and then what we should have done was done an Eddie Howe, but we can't do that now. What I would do the Ipswich manager, get him in.
What has he won?
You don't need, because when we started to win trophies, when we had the Bill Nick, I'm not that old, but then we had the Keith Birkinshaw. He didn't win hardly fuck all, but what did he do? Straight away, and people were trying to get him out. We're not going to do what Sir Alex Ferguson has done and then go for 4 years because fans haven't got that patience for 4 years. But what we have is a good manager in, say, like the Ipswich manager, right? Who plays the type of football that we want. Perfect fit. I'm not so sure about the Iraola. Don't bring people back because it doesn't work. It's like getting an ex-girlfriend again and trying again because that ain't going to work. How many times does that work? So come on, Tottenham fans. What I would say is just stay with the team, stick with the team, because that's all we can do at the moment.
Bit late for that, I think.
This manager is dead.
Bit like Sim. Bit like Sim. Sim's dead as well.
Manager's dead.
Mark,
Later.
great to see you, man. Great to speak to you.
Big up, Mark. Big up, man.
Nice one. Big up.
All right, on his way back from Stamford Bridge.
Yes, I'm excited. He's going to say it. Ben's here, Sim. He's not here, Sim, but he's here. You can say it now, Sim. Come on,
Let
Sim.
Ben have it. This is Ben's chance to have his say. This is Ben's chance to have his say.
I'm waiting.
Sim, you have no leg to stand on anymore. This manager needs to go tonight.
100%.
He needs to go tonight. We have nothing about us in this team. Is that who we are? Is that who we are? We can't create a chance. Our best team that played today, we cannot create a chance. We've got no identity. There's no passion in the team. There's no creativity. Where's the ethos about this team? What is Ange even trying to do anymore? He's having goes at fans. He's cupping his ears towards the away end when Sarr scores a disallowed goal. What the fuck is going on? This manager needs to go tonight. Seriously, I've had enough.
I mean, we also
Tell me, go on, Danny.
Sim, we haven't lost 16 league games in 48 years. That is disgraceful by a level of Tottenham Hotspur that should not be in our vicinity. Basically, it's disgraceful. It is that I've never seen a football team play like they've never played football in their life. Like, genuinely, it's like they don't know what they're doing. They've got no communicational skills. They run into each other all the time. They don't communicate at all to each other. They can't make a 5-yard pass. They can't string 5 passes together. And this is the worst Chelsea team I have ever seen. And honestly, watching that today, they were there for the taking. And the fact that our players were actually more than capable of doing it, it's just the problem is they're not coached to do anything. They are just not coached whatsoever. It's just disgraceful. Like, this guy, he has to go as soon as possible. I think every fan now is pretty much done with this manager. I mean, he just, and do you know what's more funny? It's every time you hear him, he just sounds worse and worse. He just makes himself look more like a clown. And Sim, I said it on the post-match, right? If you're not Ange out, I am Sim out now. I am Sim out completely.
You were Sim out before. You were Sim out before. There's nothing changed.
I'm just Sim done. I'm done with Sim.
No, tell me about, from your point of view, what happened between Ange and the fans. Did you see anything from where you were or anything like that?
Now, to be honest, we were too busy going absolutely mental when
Yeah.
we scored, to be honest. It was absolute scenes.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Absolute scenes when Sarr scored. But once it got disallowed and we were waiting around for ages, all the images started to filter through. and everyone was looking at their phones, and everyone was just like, what the hell is this guy doing? Seriously, does he have no shame? Does he have no shame? We're sitting 14th in the league. 14th in the league with 16 losses or whatever it is, and he's cupping his ears to the away fans saying, like, oh my God, seriously, what is this guy on? Like, what is he on?
No, I completely agree. I thought it was absolutely shameful, disgusting, doing that to your own fans, to be honest. I don't know what kind of point he was trying to prove, to be honest. I thought it was ridiculous to do that when, you got to have some humility. It wasn't even like to go in the lead. It was an equaliser, you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
Sim, it's the arrogance, man. It's the
arrogance. That's why I called it. I called it arrogance, yeah.
But Sim, we all clown on Mikel Arteta, yeah, for being overly arrogant for not doing anything in his career, not winning anything in his career, right? Ange Postecoglou is worse than Mikel Arteta, and he's more arrogant than Mikel Arteta. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. At least Arsenal competitive, right? At least they're at the right end of the table, and they're still in the Champions League, and they're still in a chance to win shit. Whereas we are not, and we are so bad. And Ange is so delusional. He is the true deluded person around.
I'm sorry,
Spurs.
man. I'm sorry, man. But look, before this, I was willing to give him the Europa League, and I was willing to give him till the end of the season. But after seeing that, there's no confidence left in this team.
No.
He has denied that it was him trying to make a point. He said he was trying to cheer up, make the fans cheer louder.
It just all Ange does now is deflect and lie through his. Like Jory said it spot on. He lies through his teeth, and it's just he's genuinely looking more and more stupid and more incompetent to manage this club. The more that we listen to him, the more time goes on. He's just making himself look worse and worse every single time. And we know that Daniel Levy's not going anywhere. So the only thing that can change, right? We know that how many players do not want. They're pretty much checked out, right? What I saw today is a bunch of players who've got no idea how to play with each other, no identity, no philosophy, no style, no coherence, no communication, nothing. They don't back the manager. It's just completely dead. They don't care about the badge. They don't care about playing for Tottenham. All they care about is their wage. They get
apparently, I don't know if you saw. Apparently, there's reports that when the equaliser that got obviously cancelled out went in, that Son was also seen shushing the away fans. I don't know if you saw anything.
I don't remember seeing that. I think, like Ben said, we were just too in a euphoric state of.
And you know what? If Ange's going, I wanted the away fans to shout louder. I mean, I haven't seen an away end pop off like that this season. I mean, that was mental scenes.
It was crazy
in the away end today. It really was like. Think Man City away, and it was more mental than that.
Like, do you know what, Sim? If Ange wanted to gear the fans up, what you do is you go to the fans and you start pumping your fist and cheering like a madman, or you start saying like, "Come on, let's go!" Like cheering them up, not putting your ear to the fans. Like,
especially 10 minutes after the fans were singing, "You don't know what you're doing."
Yeah, and that's the first time actually I've heard the Spurs fans sing like to Ange, like in like they don't want him basically. Don't know what, or questioning his tactics and
the reality is
changes.
He's not previous to clapping back at fans before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's getting worse though. Yeah. He's now actually put his ears up to the fan basically, and like to say like, "Oh, can you hear me now?" Like basically, what are you saying? Basically, it's just I'm just so done with this manager, and it's just every time I see him in a press conference, he just looks more and more stupid. Like that last press conference he did before the game. It's like he's basically saying like, "Oh, it doesn't really matter if I get sacked." It's like, well, another manager can do a better job. If someone wants me, they might take a chance on me. It's like, are you crazy? Are you honestly like saying these things when you're managing a football club in the state that we're in? It just makes no sense.
He said it, Danny. He said earlier about being, I'll be the longest serving Tottenham manager shortly, and all of it. Do you know what I mean?
It will be, and that's more of the state of the club than it is like how well he's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's the arrogance. If he thinks that's a good thing, I mean, it's delusional. It's pure insanity. It's honestly insane.
The reality is, right, this club is so in the gutter. It's rotten to the core, from top to bottom. You got fans fighting each other. You got like literal toxicity in the away ends, toxicity in the home ends,
Also-
a manager that's completely clueless, a chairman that needs to sell up and go. You know what I mean? It's just rotten to the
Do you know-
core. Who the hell is even taking this job anyway after Ange Postecoglou? We're going to break our own record of 72 days without a manager.
And-
like the whole thing is ridiculous.
Do you know how bad it was at some points at the end of the game, right? When was it Johnson or Bergvall? One of them gave their shirt to like a young lad, right? He must have been in his like mid-teen, 15, 16, something like that. And then he started fighting with the boy because an adult or someone wanted the shirt, and they were actually like grabbing him up on the neck and shit like this.
Who
And it's
was?
Like, are you serious? Some of the Tottenham fans. They
Oh,
basically were
fans.
fighting over one of.
Not the player,
One
not
of
the
the
player, the
Tottenham-
fans.
No. The fans were fighting each other over the shirt, but the player went and gave it to a young lad, and you've got fully grown men trying to like fight this kid for a shirt. I mean, it's disgusting. It's disgraceful.
This is the most toxic I've seen it since the tail end of George Graham and Alan Sugar. Back then, you used to have chants every single game, Graham out, Sugar out, and I think it's just as bad as that now. Seriously, it's really bad. And the only thing that can change in
Is
the
the
short
manager.
term is the manager.
Yeah.
He's clueless. He's out of his depth. And even if you keep him from, even if you say, oh well, he's got us to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, he's may as well take it. We're going nowhere fast. We ain't getting past Frankfurt if we keep him in. At least we have a slight chance if we sack him.
Ben, I said to
I
Jory, there's 8 games left. I think we only win Southampton. The rest of them, I think,
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
see it. If we lose 7, that'll be 23 games that we would have lost this season.
We might sneak a couple of draws in there.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be our worst. What's our worst? 20 is our worst, or 19 is our worst.
19's
Yeah.
our worst, yeah.
We are
How many
literally
points are we on, by the way?
34.
So we can essentially be on course for the worst ever league finish, other than getting relegated.
We're lucky that the 3 teams that have came up are so shit this year and
Yeah.
we're going to get barely any points, because I don't know
Yeah.
if we're hitting 40 points this season.
And it's Sim,
Well.
isn't this not another thing, right? Is this not another thing to show that it doesn't really matter about the injuries? Because that was essentially our strongest 11 out there tonight.
Rested for 2 weeks as well.
Yeah.
Well,
he's broken. Sim
sorry,
is
no,
broken.
I'm just sending a text to someone.
Sim doesn't know what to say, guys.
Sending a text at this fine hour, at this time, at this.
I'm trying to get a press conference. I'm trying to get the press conference up.
He's trying to get the press
Do I
conference to
think,
see what he can-
He's
look.
still focused on Ange.
Yeah, he's still trying to get positives. He's trying to get the positives. We nearly got it out of him
No, I
earlier,
can't-
Ange out. We nearly got it out of him.
After what he did with the fans, it's hard to justify anything
Sim,
at the
I want to
moment.
know I want to know what leg you have to stand on not to say Ange out right here, right now.
Yes.
'Cause I just don't think it'll make a difference right now.
Why would it not make a difference?
The only
I
thing
think
it'll make a
he's-
difference. The only thing it'll make a difference with is maybe it'll distract everyone with the toxicity right now. If you just get Mason in, they'll lift that cloud, because I don't know what kind of reaction Ange's going to get on Sunday after what he did today. So I think
Do you not think that little bit of positivity is what we need right now? Because it's just getting worse and worse and more toxic
Yeah,
and more
it's
toxic.
getting worse. Do you know what?
Potentially.
Tim, right? I genuinely didn't want to see Ryan Mason come back in again at this club. But right now, I would take Ryan Mason every single day of the week. And I can't believe I'm even saying this, but I would take him every single day of the week than over Ange right now. I think he would offer a little bit more hope than what Ange is giving us. And at least, it's just, I can't take Ange anymore. I'm just so done with him. It's just he needs to go. I really hope I wake up tomorrow morning and I see Ange has been sacked.
tonight
That's
was
what I
the
genuinely hope.
tonight was the first time I think there's a real possibility of that happening. To be honest.
Do you want it to happen? Do you want it to happen?
Do I want it to happen? I don't want it to happen. I don't really care if it does, to be honest.
Do you think it needs to happen?
In terms of what?
In terms of, do you think he deserves to stay at this football club past tonight? Like, is he showing enough?
No, he hasn't deserved to in a while, but he hasn't deserved to stay. But I've wanted him to stay. I've always wanted him to give him that Europa League campaign. That's been the main thing. But after what's happened tonight, and what when you're doing things against your own fans, and there's causing that toxicity in the air, that only goes one direction. You can't be doing that, essentially. And it's essentially like he's trying to rile up the fans. He's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do with that thing.
So you are Ange out then. You are Ange out.
I want to sleep on it.
What does that even mean? Sleep on it. Just say it right now.
I want to sleep on it. That's what it means. I want to sleep on it. I don't know.
So you're Ange in.
I'm not Ange in. I don't really care right now, to be honest.
You're not Ange in. What are you?
I want to sleep on it. I want to see how I feel tomorrow. I want to see how I feel tomorrow when I hear him speak. If he gets to the press conference.
He is. He just doesn't want to say it. He wants to say it. Ben, he wants to say it tomorrow with you here. That's what he wants to do. So that's fine.
All right. I'll take that.
We'll give that. But let Sim.
There's no need to make sudden
he wants to
calls.
say it to my face. He wants to say it to my face.
There's no need to make. I don't like to make sudden conclusions when the pain is still fresh. The pain is still fresh.
He's deflecting it.
The pain is still very fresh. I want to see how I feel tomorrow.
All I'm going to say is...
The reality is, I'd like to give him that Europa League campaign, but he's making it too difficult at the moment.
Sim, come next weekend, genuinely, after Wolves, we could be below Wolves.
Could we?
Yep. Wolves go to Ipswich away, and then they play us. That's the
You mean if we lose to Southampton?
Well, yeah. Why not? Why can't we lose to Southampton?
Yeah, we could. I guess
possible, mate.
Anything's possible
at this stage.
Southampton were minutes away from beating Palace yesterday, by the way.
Yeah.
And also, how far away were Everton away from us? What, 9 points, 12 points? They're
I just saw another thing, right, on Twitter. Like, the last 15 games for Leicester, they've lost every single one apart from the one against us.
How many games?
15.
And by the way, this was a Chelsea team that were there for the taking.
Oh, they were. I've never seen.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. They weren't even that good tonight. They weren't even that good.
They weren't good at all. They weren't good at all. I kept saying, why is no one taking a shot?
Yeah.
We've got this Robert Sanchez in goal. Suddenly Sarr takes a shot and it goes in. Like, why is no?
Oh yeah, talk to me about the VAR decisions. Any disgruntlement there or right decisions?
Right.
I mean, when I saw it in the away end, first and foremost, I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, I thought he got the ball, but then I saw it afterwards. It looked. I mean, it's a foul.
Yeah.
And it's definite foul. It's good. It's the correct decision.
It's just how long.
But it takes 6 or 7 minutes to get to that decision.
Yeah,
I was listening to Ange afterwards saying clear. Is it clear and obvious if it takes 6 or 7 minutes to get to that decision? And I do hear that, but at the end of the day, it's the right decision.
I think it actually was clear and obvious. He could have had one look at it and ruled it out. I don't know why it took 7 minutes.
I don't know why it took 6 or 7 minutes to get.
It was a clear foul. He hits him on the knee. It's a pretty clear foul, to be honest. So I don't. He's right to be disgruntled about the length of time it took, but I think it was pretty clear and obvious. I don't know what took so long, but yeah, Ange after tonight, it's especially with the relationship with the fans, how badly it's deteriorating. Yeah, it's tough to see him. It's tough to see him last much longer.
I really hope tomorrow morning we wake up to that club statement, because I cannot be asked for this anymore. It's separated and divided and caused toxicity in the fan base for too long. And look, there's still going to be toxicity in the fan base, even if Ange was to go, but it's going to decrease massively, in my opinion.
I don't know if it will. I don't know if it will.
It will, because
I think it'll just go in a different direction.
Yeah, and it'll go in the right direction. We don't need this about a manager. We need to all focus on the ownership. That's the guy that's the root cause of the problem at this football club.
That's fair enough. I'm just saying. I could see something like a Lampard-esque kind of tenure coming if we sack Ange.
Lampard would never come to this.
This is a Lampard-esque tenure.
I know, but he was losing heavily. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway.
Do you know one thing?
Losing heavily. We've lost 16 games this season.
And we're probably going to lose more. There's no doubt we're going to lose more games. Like 100%.
Wolves, Wolves,
Liverpool, Tottenham,
Villa, Brighton.
Tottenham's
Villa
Ange is way worse than Lampard's Chelsea. Way worse.
100%. And I think the problem is with Ange, right, is that he's got no idea how to coach a team to play a certain way. against different teams in a Premier League where you come up
He's
with
just
different
out of his
teams
depth at
and
this
different
level.
tactics.
He's out
Right?
of his depth at
We
this
need
level.
someone. I guarantee you, a coach, a proper coach, who will come in and coach these players. Right? They will do better than what we've got right now.
Another thing that pissed me off tonight was the referee. All the 50-50
Oh, yeah.
decisions going to Chelsea pissed me off all game. Anyway,
any thoughts about who you would want as if obviously we think Mason will probably come in if Ange does go, but in terms of a long-term replacement, is there any more thoughts after Irola lost Ipswich on the weekend?
The reality is I don't even think it matters anymore who comes in at this football club. They're doomed to fail. I just feel like Ange is
We just need someone better than him.
We just need someone that will come in and unite us. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know who I want.
No, I don't know who I want either. I like Glasner, to be honest. I really like Glasner. At least he's got defensive tactics, and this Palace team not doing too badly. I mean, let's be honest, right? Which manager in their right mind is going to actually come to this club, right, with the way that we're running this club and how you've seen how the last 3 or 4 managers have been treated at this club? What manager is genuinely going to want to come to this club? Like we went through a manager merry-go-round when we hired Nuno. We didn't have a manager for 72 days, and then we had to hire like our 8th or 9th choice because no one wanted the job. Like that's where we are. That's exactly. So why is anyone going to want to come to manage this club? Like I'm telling you, right? It's like this thing that Daniel Levy's doing to this club. He's trying to lower the standards of what was set by Pochettino because we're not a club who's supposed to be competing at that top level because we're not going to spend the money on the quality players to compete at that level. That's what Daniel Levy's done. He's buying all these youngsters. Look at what we're doing. We're buying all these youngsters, right? We've got a team full of youngsters, no experience, and that's the thing. It's like it doesn't work. There's no balance there.
Oh, you've switched.
Yeah,
All
sorry,
right.
we're back. Yeah, there's no balance there. So it's like the only thing we can do is change the manager and hope that someone can come in to at least allow us to get to challenge that like top 8. Because like Ben said earlier,
we just need
it's like there's only
bring some confidence. Give these players some confidence.
Not just that, Ben. It's like you said as well. If you look at the points between those top from 8th to 4th, it's not that big of a difference. So if we're in and around there, it's going to be better than what we're doing now. And I think a manager who can get us there is probably the best we're going to do right now. And Ange is not going to do that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Nice to see you. See you in the studio tomorrow.
Give him hell,
safe
Ben.
trip back.
Get him to say those 2 words. This absolute fraud
Very
next to me.
Barry, have you been giving him hell today?
Yeah, oh yeah, all day.
Barry's still sunny out though. Barry's very much sunny out.
Don't get me started on. Don't start me on Son either.
We start on Sonny now. We're going to be here till 3.
Hey Ben. This all started when we got rid of Emerson. You know that, right?
Oh, you are the most shameless man on YouTube.
You really are.
The most shameless man.
He's the biggest fraud, but I think Sim is starting to steal that crown.
Nah, no one's going to steal that crown off Barry the Emerson.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe
Trophy winner. That's all I'm saying.
We're going a bit too far there, Sims.
Oi, Danny. They signed Kyle Walker. They're lowering the table now with Emerson not in the team. Just saying.
Nice one, guys.
Shameless, isn't he?
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Danny, we'll see you on Saturday.
See you later, boys.
Nice one.
See you later.
All right. Is there anyone else there?
One more.
All right, let's get George on. George, nice to see you, my friend. It's not been a great day for all involved in Tottenham. Tell me your thoughts. What do you want to talk about?
We got to stop meeting like this. We've got to actually have some sort of positivity in our lives. Surely.
Still got to stop watching Tottenham then if you want that. Tell me, how are you feeling, George? How are you feeling after tonight? Ange cupping the ears against the fans, another 1-0 defeat, another poor display in the London derby, VAR decisions lasting 6 minutes. What's your thoughts?
I think that sums up everything. I was in such a good mood today. I've had an amazing week. Loved it. Spurs come on, ruins everything, doesn't it? I don't know.
You need a big
seems to
glass
be-
of Baileys. Was it a big glass of Baileys last time?
We need a
Also,
list. We
last
need a
time-
list. We need a list, George. Give us a list. Something.
I can give you one if you want. It's
Go
completely
on.
full. You won't be able to see it 'cause I've blurred my background. But yeah. First of all, I want to go into it and say you're not going to like this, but Sim, I think you are spot on in not, hear me out, in not saying Ange out yet. The reason I say that, and I can feel the comments coming in as I'm saying this, not that I can see them, but I can feel them coming in. Because ultimately, yeah, as you said, I don't see how changing managers is going to fix anything. I really don't. We've been doing this for, well, my whole life. We've never won anything. 2008 was the only time. I was too young to remember that. I don't even think I was into watching football. I think I just played it. So I, in my eyes, never seen Spurs win anything. And it's just everyone being happy with this mediocreness and bigging up our players and thinking that they're better than they are. Like I'm glad that Ben's listening in the background still, because there's something I wanted to say so that both of you can hear it. Because I know you've both been so vocal on Sonny, and I have defended him in the past. Yeah, yeah, I know you are. So I don't see how anyone can defend his actions, and everyone's coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, Ange cupping his ear and everything like that." That can be misconstrued. The last game, either against, I can't remember if it was against Alkmaar or Bournemouth, but Sonny stood. It was about halfway between the halfway line and the opposition's box, so we were attacking. He ran the ball straight out of play and started going like that to the fans when they started booing him and like proper like pointing him out. It was on TV. No one's mentioned it. He's done it today again with shushing the fans. Everyone's more concerned about Ange. Why have we got this absolute? And I'm sorry to say, but it's been made so abundantly clear since Kane's left that he is a fraud. And I've tried to defend him. Today is one step too far. I cannot defend a captain who does that to fans. Managers come and go, especially at this club. But Sonny's been here for long enough. He should not be doing that. You cannot defend that. I'm sorry.
You're talking about shushing the fans.
Shushing the fans today, but mainly what he did against Alkmaar or Bournemouth. Again, I can't.
Well,
remember
what do you think that comes from? What do you think that tells you about where his head is at when he's doing something like that?
I fully get why he's doing it, and I'm probably a bit of a, I can't think of the word for it, arsehole. But I'd probably do the same thing if I was in his position, just out of sheer frustration, because I do think he was doing it more from himself out of frustration than to the fans. But that still being said, you can't have a captain doing that. Like, he doesn't show captain material to me. Madders does, but anyway, this is all beside the point. Today, only going off today's game, I've only seen Madders and Ange be the only ones who care about the result. No one else has seemed to give a shit today. They've cared more about their own reputation, fighting Chelsea players, not keeping their heads, no cohesion, no discipline. As E6 said, absolutely no cohesion. You can tell half of these players have not been playing this season because when we've got a strong team like that, and Romero and Van der Ven are arguably the worst players on the pitch, maybe not the worst, but amongst the worst players on the pitch, that says a lot. Again, I'm not defending Ange. There's no defending tonight. It's absolutely disgraceful. But my anger, I believe, is more well-placed than people thinking out of emotion. And yes, I am obviously very emotional with this situation. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be a Spurs fan. But it's misplaced. It needs to go to the top. We need to get him gone. And ultimately, if Ange has to fall in that, then yes, I will obviously be Ange out then. But for me, I don't see anything changing until Levy's gone. And I've been saying this for years. I know Daigle has. I know you guys have. But I feel so sorry for Ange, man. He's come in. We said before he even joined the club, you guys said, he's destined to fail with this club. What's transpired? Well, he had a great, 10 games at the beginning of his tenure when the fans were behind him, the board was behind him-ish.
Can you remember
Can
you remember a more fractured time at the club since you've supporting them now? You've had players coming out in interviews, speaking badly about the board, about not signing big players and not acting like a big club. You've got tonight Ange and the fans having a falling out. You've got protests against the board by the fans. You've got the board having a swipe at the fans in Levy's letter. You've just got it's fractured everywhere you look, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's always been fractured, but it's been less vocal. I think people who in the past have not been vocal and have thought, oh, yes, we've got bad sides to leave, but we've also got good sides, as in like the new stadium and the new training ground and stuff like that. I mean, like I was one of them. I trained on the old training ground. It was horrible. Yeah, it was shit. It was like playing. In fact, I think my local club actually had better training facilities. I'll be honest, and they had an AstroTurf pitch. He's brought all of that side into it, and yes, I can see that. I'm never gonna give him his props because he doesn't deserve any. But that's the one thing he's done that is a positive. Everything else, I genuinely can't see a positive. Should never have sold Kane, regardless of what Kane wanted. Ultimately, he's a professional. He needs to do what his contract says. Well, just keep extending it. If he runs it out, well, ultimately, then you can't do anything. But get another season out of him, gives you another season to rebuild, get other people in. We obviously had a gap of getting a replacement in for him. In my opinion, don't think we have. I don't think it's going to be possible to, because I don't think there's a player like him in the world that can pick a pass like Dembele and also finish like Messi. It's not going to happen. And players like that we need to hold on to. There's no long-term outlook within the fan base, within the club, and within the top dogs, within the board. The only person who seems to have it is Daniel Levy, and every time he comes out and says something, well, how are we supposed to believe it? Because he's never followed through on anything he's ever said.
Well, George, look,
I'm trying to keep the slurs out because I can feel them bubbling.
I'm sure you're not the only one, but we are running out of time, so I want to appreciate you calling in and being patient and and coming on the show, mate. But appreciate your time.
No stress. Can I say one last thing before It's nothing to do with Spurs? I follow another sport called Speedway. There might be a few people watching who follow along. I'd love to class him as a good mate. He's kind of a mate I used to know and helped me out a lot in the past. He had a very nasty crash a couple of days ago, and he's in a coma. So I just want to shout out Ty Wiffenden because he is not in a good way.
Sorry to hear that, man. Everyone send their support and love in the comments to him.
100%.
Big up to you. Appreciate that. So I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope he gets better, makes a full recovery. That's sorry to hear.
You and me both, mate. You and me both.
Anyway, nice one, George. Nice
Big
to
up,
see you as
George.
always,
Go and
mate.
get a big glass of Bailey's, mate, again. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
Oh, see ya. All right, I think that is that for tonight. Appreciate everyone who interacted. Let me just go through some super chats quickly. I think we had one from Luke I didn't go through. I've been Ange throughout all of it, but that wasn't excusable. That gesture towards the fans is disgraceful. He needs more awareness of the circumstances. Sad to say, but it's not going to work. It's hard to disagree with that. CCM28 said, I wish I had the confidence to antagonise your own fans when you've been in charge of the worst season this club has had in the Premier League era. Get this clown out of our club. I think the other ones I read. All right. Well, that is that. Barry, thank you for co-piloting this ship.
We're gonna have it tomorrow. We're gonna have
tomorrow. I'm starting to feel a bit under the weather. I don't know.
Oh no, we are already in tomorrow, but when Ben's here, Ben,
I'm starting to feel a bit under the weather.
Get him.
I don't know if I'm in.
We're gonna get him.
We're
gonna get him in the WhatsApp group. You're gonna get him on tomorrow's stream. We've had enough of Ange. We've had enough of Sim not saying Ange out.
Tyler Lajaki says, blaming Ange is lazy. Players are terrible.
The players are terrible. Yeah.
That's what
Sonny's
Tyler
terrible.
says.
But I
Not
got
Sonny.
called a fraud.
Everyone except Sonny.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. Appreciate your time. It's tough times for Tottenham at the moment. So stay safe out there. Don't get too down. Don't don't. I don't know. I don't even know anymore what to say to comfort
3
people.
days until Southampton. We might
Yeah,
get a win. We might get 3 points.
But let's stick together. Let's not cup your ears to the fans. Ange, good night.